some songs just start as a train of thought, you start thinking about things and you start scribbling it down and it just keeps going until you can't make it rhyme anymore. Then you wrap it up and put a tune to it and call it a song. But here's one for you that started with a train of thought that started when I was 8 years old. I was being teased mercilessly by the children in my neighborhood. This is in New Orleans in the 50s, and all the kids in my new neighborhood were Catholics, and I think I was the only kid there that went to public school, they were all in parochial schools. And the first thing the kids in those days would ask you is, what religion are you? And that's what they asked me, and I said, I don't know. I mean, I was raised by university people, they don't talk about such things. University people just let their kids float, in some kind of an intellectual pool until something bites them. So I said, I don't know, and they said, that's ridiculous. What church were you baptized in? And I said, I don't know. I'll find out. I went in the house where my dad was working in his study, and I stuck my head in, and I said, Daddy, what church was I baptized in? And he looked up and he says, you've never been baptized. I said, okay. I went back out and I said, I've never been baptized. They all went, I think they were a little afraid of me at first, but it didn't last. Then they started, like, you're going to hell, you're going to hell, you're going to hell. Me, I'm such an innocent, I say, what's hell? They started it, and they told me all about it, It was, having been well instructed in the details by the sisters. So I listened for a while, and I thought, man, this sounds pretty bad, Then I thought, well, this can't be right, So I went back in the house and I stuck my head back in my dad's study and I said, Daddy, am I going to hell? And he didn't look up. He didn't look up. He says, "No, not surprise me." I was shocked, So he noticed that, and he says, "Why are you asking me all this?" I said, "The guys outside tell me I'm going to hell because I've never been baptized." And he said, "Well, that's just opinion." I said, all right. It sounded dismissive to me, so I thought, that's okay. I went back outside and I said, "My dad says that's just opinion." They didn't know what opinion was either. Anyway, so that's the kind of conversation that makes you start thinking about things, Now you're off on the subject of good and evil and God and the devil. What is the relationship there, So that's what prompted this song. The Lord was feeling lonesome, the Lord is down, he's singing the blues. Nobody calls on me, prayers are far between few. And if it wasn't for the devil, there wouldn't be a lot to do. Speaking of the devil, you got to give the devil his due. He's down in the details, quoting scripture from his point of view. He says the Lord knows he needs me, but he don't want to believe it's true. He thinks he doesn't know me, 'cause he don't look at the back of his head. But my face is in the pillow when he's lying on his back in bed. And when he's singing beat the devil, he's beating on himself instead. It all started in the garden when he opened with a single pair. He said, go forth and multiply. Now everybody wants a share. We get no peace on earth till he goes knocking and there's nobody there. Me, I'm just trying to keep him busy so he don't give up and blow us away. So if they ask why you a sinner and you don't know what to say, just say the devil made me do it to save the world for one more day. Yeah, the devil made me do it to save the